Hey guys, Moves here with another video guide. This is the second video in this series that I'm going to do for leveling as a hunter in Battle for Azeroth. In this video, we're going to take a quick look at Marksman Hunter. Going into the video, I'm going to assume you have fairly decent gear and can choose from all the available legendaries Marksman has to offer. This will only cover methods of leveling from levels 110 to 120, so if you're starting as a fresh hunter, this isn't the guide for you. If you want a complete leveling guide starting as a fresh hunter, Wowhead has written a fairly in-depth leveling guide for every spec linked in the description below. Alright, first let's cover what talents to run when you're leveling as a Marksman Hunter. Here are my suggested talents if you plan to do solo leveling and questing. In this talent build, we take a Murder of Crows, Explosive Shot, Trailblazer, Streamline, Post Haste, Barrage, and Lock and Load. This is a mix of both single target and AoE, which focuses on burstier abilities. Barrage is great for gathering multiple mobs together, while Explosive Shot, a Murder of Crows, Aim Shot, and Rapid Fire can quickly burst them down. Streamline and Lock and Load are just passive buffs that are taken because nothing else in the row helps you to level very well. For speed, you have Born to be Wild and Post Haste, which gives you frequent speed boosts to move in between quests faster. If you don't know by now, Marksman Hunters aren't the best for leveling solo. While it's completely doable, it won't be nearly as fast as it would be as a BM or Survival Hunter. However, in my opinion, Marksman Hunters excel at leveling with groups. Here are my suggested talents when leveling with a group. Since you'll be in a group, mobs will not last as long and a Murder of Crows will not be effective. All the other talents work well when you're in a group in the previous build, swapping between single target and AoE at will. In Battle for Azeroth, a new world PvP system has been introduced called War Mode. This allows you to turn on world PvP, which may slow you down a tad, but provides you with awesome leveling bonuses to make up for it. You get bonus experience with War Mode on, and you're able to use new PvP talents while leveling. I highly suggest you do this, but this is totally your preference. If you do decide to use War Mode, I suggest using these talents. Hunting Party is a must. Your other two talents are largely preference, depending on what you think will help you most. Personally, I decided to take Ranger's Finesse and True Shot Mastery. So, while leveling, your gear will generally get replaced with the highest item level. If you're coming from Legion though, you will more than likely have fairly good gear and legendaries that you will use for a couple of levels before replacing them. Legendaries become obsolete once you hit level 116, so it is best to take advantage of them until then. If you are in full Mythic Antares gear, you will start replacing gear around 117. So what legendaries are best for leveling? If you're going to be questing using the solo leveling talents I suggested above, you're going to want either movement speed legendaries or pure damage legendaries depending on your preference. Again, depending on your preference, you can use Call of the Wild, Ceph is a Secret, or the legendary Crafted Gloves, Vigilance Perch. Call of the Wild makes your Aspect of the Cheetah super short, allowing you to zoom everywhere every 30 seconds or so. Ceph is a Secret gives you passive movement speed, a proc of even more movement speed when you CC a target, and bonus haste. Vigilance Perch gives you massive movement speed for every enemy killed, and basically gives you mounted movement speed once you hit 5 stacks. If you prefer to use a more damage-centric build, I would suggest using either Zevrim's Hunger or Celerity Cloak of the Windrunners. Personally, I went with Cephas and Vigilance Perch because I did not need the damage. However, once again, this is totally your preference. If you plan on leveling in a group or by doing dungeons, I would highly suggest using Warbelt of the Sentinel Army, along with either Cephas' Secret, Zevrim's Hunger, or Kil'jaeden's Burning Wish to help mobs die quicker. Mobs will be grouped up way more often, so trinkets such as Kil'jaeden's, Prototype Personal Decimator, or Legion Bombardment trinket will go miles for you. Next, I'm going to quickly go over some useful items to have with you while leveling. They've nerfed a lot of items such as Fell Meteorite and Failure Detection Pylon, but here are some of the items that are useful for leveling that are still usable. Skystep Potion increases your movement speed by 150% and allows the Imbiber to hover last 8 seconds. Goblin Glider Kit reduces falling speed. Bear Tartar restores health When you become well fed, you gain speed for a short time after killing an enemy. Avalanche Elixir. Falling a great distance will cause you to transform into an avalanche, preventing fall damage. Gun Shoes. Every minute you can zoom around and move a great speed. This does not share a cooldown with Potion. However, you should have a stop macro for Gun Shoes because you cannot stop once you use the Gun Shoes unless you have a macro to stop. Alright, now let's get into exactly how to level using the setups I discussed. First, I'm going to talk a bit about solo leveling, and then I'll touch on how to level in a group. Leveling as a Marksman Hunter can be a little rough. Your pet is not nearly as durable as Beast Mastery pets, and dies more frequently, and you do not have nearly as much sustain as Survival Hunters do. The basic idea of leveling as a Marksman Hunter is pretty simple though. Use Misdirection on your pet, cast Barrage to gather 3 to 4 enemies, have your pet tank the mobs until it dies, or until you pull threat off of your pet. Once the mobs start coming for you, kite them backwards with Disengage or Feign Death to redirect threat to your pet. Make use of Exhilaration and Aspect of the Turtle if you pull too many mobs or can't handle the ones you've pulled for whatever reason. While leveling, I suggest using a Ferocity pet. In the video here, I'm using a bat, which is Ferocity. Ferocity pets give you and your pet an additional 10% leech, which helps both you and your pet tremendously while leveling. This gives you a bit of health regen and makes your pet fairly tanky. Up until level 116, while your legendaries are working, you have a ridiculous amount of movement speed. Trailblazer gives you 30% out of combat speed, and if you have Cephas on, you gain an additional 10%, plus Call of the Wild and Vigilance Purge may give you even more speed. Born to be Wild and Hunting Pack allow you to use Aspect of the Cheetah to move quickly in between quests. As you can see here, I start off by misdirecting my pet and gathering a group of enemies by using Barrage. I'm gathering mobs 3 to 4 at a time, letting my pet tank them as much as I can, and then kiting the rest as it gets near me. I utilize Feign Death, Disengage, Traps, etc. until the enemies are dead, then you rinse and repeat. If you plan on doing dungeons with a group, or just pulling quickly while questing in a group, pets can often lag behind. Lone Wolf is a huge benefit that Marksman Hunters have when questing with groups. Barrage and Misdirect will also help your tank in gathering multiple mobs at once, which we can quickly burst down with Explosive Shot. Group leveling is a bit easier for Marksman Hunters. You use Lone Wolf, and you basically go about your normal rotation as long as you misdirect the tank. Use Barrage to pull as many mobs as possible, directing threat to your tank. Use Explosive Shot, AoE trinkets such as Kill Jadens or Prototype Decimator, and then proceed with your normal AoE rotation by applying trick shots. Alright guys, that concludes my quick guide to Marksman Hunter leveling. For an in-depth guide on Marksman Hunters, check out my guide in the link below. As always, follow and subscribe to get more info on all things Hunter. Check out the links and the info in the description below, and be on the lookout for more of my upcoming guides. Thanks for watching.